Chosen one stops because what I am about to tell you was not meant for everyone who stumbled here. It was meant for the one who has been feeling it. That quiet disturbance beneath the surface, that low hum of something being wrong that has no name yet. But your spirit has been tracking it for weeks, maybe months. You felt it before you could explain it, and that feeling was not anxiety. It was not jealousy. It was discernment. It was recognition. And today, that recognition is about to receive its name. Someone has been wearing your identity in the spirit realm. Not your face, not your history, your anointing, your frequency, the specific assignment heaven placed on your life before you were formed. While you were standing faithfully in your season, another stepped into rooms that were never built for her, spoke words that did not originate from her spirit, and carried a weight she did not earn. This is not accusation. This is not drama. This is a spiritual reality that heaven is now addressing with precision, with timing, and with justice that does not require your help to arrive. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a divine correction. What was displaced is being located. What was borrowed is being recalled. What was yours is finding its way home. And today is the day the first seal of that return begins to open. Heaven has an appointed time for everything, and though it may feel like yours has been delayed, what Habakkuk 2 verse the 3rd of December layers is this: it will surely come. It will not be late. And chosen one, neither are you. Stay with me through this entire message. What begins here will build in layers. Each section unlocks something the previous one prepared you for. What you came here for is not in the opening minutes. It is in the fullness of what unfolds. So stay. Chosen one, I want to speak first to what you have been feeling in your body, not just your spirit, because identity disturbance in the spirit does not stay invisible. It lands physically. A weariness that a full night of sleep cannot reach, a fog around your thinking that lifts during prayer but returns before noon, a flatness where your passion used to live. You may have called this burnout. You may have assumed it was a personal failing, a spiritual drought. But I want to offer you another lens. What you have been experiencing is friction, the kind that happens when your anointing is being processed through the wrong vessel. When someone carries what belongs to you, the true carrier feels the drag, not because you are weak, but because your spirit knows something is misaligned. Your discernment was never broken. It was working harder than usual to track what it could not fully name. Today, I am giving it a name, Anointed One. I have walked through a season where every door I approached felt like it had already been moved. Not locked, moved. The frame was there, the hinges were there, but the door was somewhere else, and I could feel that what was meant to open for me was responding to someone else's hand. Not because I was disqualified, because something was mishandled in the unseen, and heaven was allowing the mishandling to complete its exposure before the correction could come. I did not understand that while I was inside it. I only understood it looking back. And chosen one, you are still inside it. But the inside of it is ending, chosen one. The woman who has been wearing what belongs to you could not sustain it indefinitely. Borrowed oil always runs dry. Stolen authority always develops cracks under pressure. What she imitated on the surface, she cannot answer for in depth. There are questions she cannot respond to, rooms she cannot navigate, pressures she cannot withstand without what she borrowed from you. A name recalled incorrectly, a detail that does not line up, a moment where her reaction reveals the story she carries is not hers to tell. Someone is watching. Someone has already felt that holy hesitation, that inner signal that says, something here does not feel true. Anointed one, that pause is not doubt. That pause is the Spirit of God interrupting a lie, and it is happening right now in the natural, even as I speak this to you, chosen one. You may be asking why you were not allowed to speak sooner, why every attempt to clarify felt blocked. I want to answer that directly. If you had spoken too soon, the conversation would have centered on your emotion rather than the truth. Emotion makes a compelling case in the moment and a fragile one over time. But truth, when it surfaces on its own terms, stands without defense. Heaven was not silencing you. Heaven was protecting the weight of your witness. When truth emerges now, it will stand alone. No defense required, no convincing needed. Recognition will occur naturally. Facts shift systems. Truth does not need an audience to operate. It only needs timing. Anointed One. This is people who were present, people who felt uneasy but had no language for it. Those people are being stirred right now in their dreams, in their moments of quiet, in their sudden discomfort when they replay certain conversations. Truth refuses to stay buried when its season of exposure has arrived, and the season is here. Chosen One, let me be clear about your assignment in this moment. You are not being called to fight, you are being called to stand. And there is a profound difference. Fighting comes from fear, from the need to prove, from desperation to control an outcome. Standing comes from knowing, from the settled awareness of who you are, even when no one around you reflects it back. The Lord fights for those who know when to be still. Exodus 14, verse 14. And that stillness is not passivity, it is alignment. The posture that allows heaven to move freely without your interference. The more you chase evidence, the more it recedes. The moment you release it, it moves toward you on its own. I learned this the hard way. The season I fought hardest produced the least. The season I stood the most still turned everything. Anointed One, you are not being vindicated because you are angry. You are being vindicated because order matters to heaven. Identity is not symbolic, it is functional. When the wrong carrier holds the wrong assignment, confusion spreads outward and systems stall. Heaven corrects confusion not from sentiment, but from order. You are not a special case. You are a necessary correction in a larger pattern. Chosen One, what comes next will not feel chaotic. That surprises most people. They expect the reversal to arrive with noise, with confrontation, with a dramatic moment of exposure. But divine reversals rarely arrive loudly. They arrive with alignment, a conversation that opens naturally, a connection that forms without effort, a realization that lands quietly but permanently, and when it comes, your spirit will not be shocked. It will be confirmed, and when confirmation arrives, restoration follows immediately. We will speak in the next part about what restoration actually looks like and why it arrives as something greater than what was taken. Stay with me, because what I am about to say before we get there is the piece most people miss. Chosen One, the reason the return will exceed what was lost is not fairness, it is preparation. Heaven does not restore by rewinding time. It restores by advancing position, and advancement requires a different internal posture than the one you carried before. You cannot stand in tomorrow's authority using yesterday's survival instincts. Something in you has to be ready to hold what is coming. And the question is not whether you deserve it. The question is whether you can carry it without losing yourself in it. Anointed One, there is a hesitation that comes at the edge of restoration. The first time something returned to me after a long season of being passed over, it did not feel like victory. It felt strange. Peace felt unsafe. Favor felt like a setup. My nervous system had calibrated to tension, and when tension began to lift, it interpreted the calm as a warning rather than a welcome. If you notice that same hesitation rising in you, do not judge it. It is not doubt. It is your system recalibrating to truth. Let it settle. Heaven did not rush the reversal, and it will not rush your integration of it either. Chosen one, the reason you are allowed to walk through confusion is because clarity carries responsibility. Once you know where you stand, you can no longer move like someone who does not. Heaven will not hand authority to someone still trying to prove themselves to the room. And chosen one, if you are still here, still receiving this, you are further along than you think, anointed one. This season that felt like delay was doing something no shortcut could replicate. It was stripping away your dependence on external confirmation, teaching you to recognize yourself without mirrors. Because when restoration comes fast, only those who know who they are without applause can receive sudden return without being destabilized by it. The woman who borrowed what was yours could not sit in stillness. She needed constant movement, constant visibility, constant reassurance that what she carried was real. You could sit, you did sit, and that alone disqualified her from keeping what was never hers. Chosen one, in practical terms, what the return of your identity looks like is not always dramatic at first. It looks like clarity returning after months of fog. Peace settling where anxiety lived, your energy feeling like your own again. Spiritual displacement leaves residue, and when it is reversed, the first evidence is always internal. You feel less reactive, less urgent, less compelled to justify your presence in rooms that were never built for you. That internal grounding is the first wave. It arrives before the external shifts, because the internal shift is what makes the external one possible. Anointed one, the elevation coming is not about position for its own sake. It is about placement. You will be placed in rooms where your presence immediately feels settled. No performance required, no explanation expected. Conversations will feel shorter but land deeper. Decisions will feel simpler. That is authority flowing from position rather than effort. When who you are and where you stand finally agree, reality responds without being forced. Not every door that reopens is meant to be entered. Some reopen simply to confirm you no longer belong there. Counterfeit access always requires speed. It comes with subtle pressure to decide before you are ready, to minimize yourself to fit, to explain yourself so someone else feels comfortable. Real alignment breathes. It allows you to arrive fully. If something requires urgency, over-explanation, or self-minimizing, it is not the door you waited for. Chosen one, let me speak now about what was really happening while you were waiting, not from a theological distance. From the inside of it, there were days when the promise felt close enough to touch, but still out of reach. Days when faith had to exist without a sign, without visible movement. Days when life still needed groceries and patience, and showing up to the same responsibilities with no audience and no applause. Those days did not feel spiritual. They felt ordinary, but chosen one. Those ordinary days were the soil the promise was growing. The faithfulness no one witnessed was being counted by the one who sees everything. Heaven does not count inconsistency when it prepares to release trust. It counts exactly what it received from you: consistency, steadiness. Continuing without collapsing. Anointed one, fatigue in a season like that is not weakness. It is the sign that faith has moved from excitement into commitment. Excitement is seasonal. Commitment endures. And endurance is not the absence of weariness. It is showing up with weariness and going anyway. Your prayers have changed. I know this without being told. Fewer words, less urgency, more stillness. That is not distance from God. That is trust settling into a place where it no longer needs to negotiate. When faith matures, it stops rehearsing the request and starts resting in the one who holds it. The promise does not need to be repeated constantly to remain true. It simply needs to be held, and you are holding it quietly, without applause. And that is enough. Chosen one, there is something being built underneath you right now that you cannot see. Roots grow in darkness not because they are lost, but because depth requires cover. What is being established beneath the surface is the foundation that will hold what comes next, and you will not feel it until the weight arrives and holds. But when it holds, you will understand why the building took as long as it did. Anointed One, as we move into the next phase, I want to acknowledge what is already shifting inside you. You may have felt it while listening, a lightness in places that were heavy, a clarity in places that were foggy, a sense of recognition that keeps saying yes without your permission. That is not enthusiasm, that is resonance. And when truth resonates, something in the unseen begins to move in response. Chosen One, what returns to you does not only restore what was taken, it returns with wisdom attached. What you lost taught you what mattered. What was mishandled exposed where boundaries need to be drawn. What is returning will arrive with greater clarity about who should and should not have proximity to what you carry. You will not just receive access again. You will receive access with discernment sharpened by everything you walked through to get here. Anointed One, I also want to name the grief. The actual grief of having been displaced. Not the spiritual language around it, but the human experience of standing in a room where your name is present, but your identity is not. The pain of watching someone be celebrated for something that originated in your spirit. The loneliness of knowing what happened, but having no language others could receive. That grief is real, and it does not cancel faith. It completes it. Grief, acknowledged, loses its power to control direction. Allow it to surface where it needs to. Name what it was, and let it begin to function as wisdom rather than weight. Because Chosen One, the people you are about to serve are someone who walked through grief and came out with gentleness intact. That is not a small thing. It is a rare thing. Chosen One, I want to speak now to the acceleration that is coming. Conversations that stalled will resume without your effort. Opportunities that seemed closed will reopen with better terms than they originally offered. People who previously overlooked you will defer to you in ways they cannot fully explain. Systems that resisted you will begin to cooperate. Not because you applied force, because truth is now occupying the space that was wrongly held. Anointed One, you will recognize this acceleration not by excitement but by peace. No scrambling, no urgency, no breathless rush to prove yourself before the window closes. Simply a clear, settled sense that this belongs to me. This fits. This is right. That is how heaven confirms alignment, not with fireworks, with peace. Peace is your compass in this season. When peace leaves a space, you leave with it. When peace remains, you remain and expand. Chosen One, as alignment deepens, some connections will quietly dissolve. Not through conflict, simply through misalignment of frequency. Those connections were seasonal. They were appropriate for who you were then. They are not built for who you are becoming. Releasing what is seasonal is not disloyalty. It is stewardship, and the connections aligned with your restored identity will not require convincing. They will feel like recognition before a word is exchanged. Anointed One, remain gentle with yourself through this stretch. Growth without gentleness hardens the heart, and a hardened heart cannot receive the kind of trust heaven is moving toward you. Gentleness is not fragility. It is the capacity to remain soft enough to keep growing while firm enough to hold your ground. Both at once, that is a rare skill. And Chosen One, you have been developing it without realizing it for every moment you chose peace over proving, patience over retaliation, integrity over convenience. Chosen One, your authority is quieter now than it used to be. It no longer needs to announce itself because it no longer needs to prove itself. It is felt in how things settle in your presence, in how clarity follows you into conversations, in how tension dissolves before you address it. That is not charisma, that is coherence. And coherence is what sustained authority is built on. Anointed One, this is also the phase where multiplication replaces restoration. Restoration returns what was lost. Multiplication expands what was learned. You are not stepping back into what was taken. You are stepping forward into a larger version of what was always meant to be yours, with clearer vision, stronger footing, and wisdom the first version of the assignment did not yet contain. What once overwhelmed you will not overwhelm you now. Because you are not the same carrier, you have been refined. Refined vessels hold more without cracking. Chosen one. Integrity in this phase sustains what elevation provides. Every decision reinforces the alignment heaven restored. You will find that saying less accomplishes more. That presence accomplishes more than persuasion. That timing accomplishes more than force. These are not principles you are reading about. They are functional realities you now carry in your body because you have lived them from the inside out. Anointed one. What Joel chapter 2 verse the 25th of December layers is not simply a return of what was consumed. It is repayment with increase and with wisdom attached, so that what returns is handled in a way that can sustain it. You will not receive it before you can steward it, and you can steward it now. Chosen one, as we approach the close of this message, let me anchor this truth in you before you leave. You are not stepping into something new. You are stepping forward into something that was always yours, prepared before you arrived, protected during the misuse, returned with increase, because heaven does not lose track of what belongs to its own. The displacement you experienced was not heaven losing sight of you. It was heaven watching closely, allowing evidence to accumulate, positioning the correction to be permanent rather than temporary. Anointed one. The transfer has already begun in the spirit. What you sense is not imagination. What you feel landing is not wishful thinking. You are receiving confirmation, not construction. The construction was completed in the season of silence. What is arriving now is occupancy you are moving in. Chosen one, from this moment forward your life speaks for you. Your steadiness speaks, your clarity speaks, your consistency speaks. You do not need to announce your restoration. You do not need to explain the delay. Those who are aligned with your next season will recognize you immediately, and those who do not recognize you are simply not part of it. What was taken could not stop you. What was delayed did not derail you. What was imitated could not replace you. Every season you survived has made you more precisely what you were always meant to be, not in spite of the weight, because of it. Chosen one, you are now walking. Not waiting to begin, not preparing to start walking. And the ground beneath your feet is more solid than it has ever been, because what was built in secret was built without shortcuts. As you go from this moment, guard your alignment with the same faithfulness you brought to the waiting season. What has been restored is entrusted to you. Carry it with the quiet gravity of someone who knows its value because they know what its absence cost. Anointed one, if this word confirms something your spirit has already been carrying, leave an amen in the comments, not as performance, as acknowledgement that truth has landed. And if you are not yet subscribed, consider staying connected. Not out of obligation, out of recognition that what resonates deserves a place in your regular rhythm. Watch the next message through to the end as well. What is being released in this season is a series. Each word builds on what came before, and what comes next will speak to the specific movement you are being positioned for, including the spirit behind the doors that are about to open at this exact threshold of your return. Chosen one. May peace guard what has been restored in you. May clarity guide what you carry forward. May the alignment heaven has established remain uninterrupted by noise, by doubt, or by the opinions of those who were not present for the preparation. What is yours is returning. What is returning is permanent, and what is permanent cannot be borrowed, imitated, or worn by another ever again. Chosen one, this is your season. Walk in it.